Hi, this is Shade Foray with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Steven Swenson, and this is another one of our Property Deal of the Week videos for August of 2021.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about Michigan again. The Michigan auctions are taking place right now, and Michigan is a tax deed state.
Yeah, they're a tax deed state, which basically means that the county will foreclose on properties once redemption period has expired. There are also some good things about Michigan. They hold online auctions. They also sometimes will give us interior images of photos. There are a lot of things that are good about Michigan, but we're going to talk more about a couple of these sales. Before we do that, though, we noticed that only about 15% of you are actually subscribed to the channel. So we want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you're notified every time we put out a video.
Yeah, definitely. We'd appreciate it.
So the Michigan sales happen from August 2nd to September 3rd. So therefore, they're going to come up to an end here. We're a ways through it now, but we're going to be looking at really properties in just two areas. We're looking at one of the properties we're looking at is in Ionia County, and the other properties that we're going to be looking at, the rest of them are all in Saint Clair. So Ionia's sale is on the 26th of August, and Saint Clair is actually on the 31st of August. So we've got 5 properties we're going to look at. Let's take a look at the first one. The first one we have here is kind of interesting here in Ionia, and it is a grocery store. This property opens up, has a minimum bid of $25,000 and an SEV of $102,000, which means it's worth about $204,000, an estimated value there on it. So kind of interesting property that starts at roughly 10% of value.
Yeah, well, and we love any type of commercial property, and really looking at the market, I would imagine it probably worth, $200,000 plus.
Yeah, well, one of the things that's interesting as I was looking at it is that there are businesses like that, Rite Aid Pharmacy, you can kind of see there in the image. There are still other functional businesses, around the area. So it must still have value as a commercial, outlet there. Somebody should have that operating.
Yeah, well, and even if they didn't use it as a grocery store, it could be converted for some type of other use.
Yeah, it's huge.
Dollar General, anything like that. And if somebody really wanted to, they could even make it into office space.
Yeah, a lot of options there with it. It'd be interesting. Also, I noticed in the images there, that they had listed for sale. So yeah, it's usable. They didn't have interior images there of it at the time, but from the exterior, it looks pretty usable.
Well, and the one thing that's nice about this property, you're not going to get arrested walking over there and looking in the windows.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it isn't within a public place. I wouldn't get into the property by all means, but if you were to go through and kind of look in the windows, that's going to be more acceptable. A lot less risk than walking up and looking into somebody's windows at their home.
Yeah, so again, this one's in Ionia County, and this one's going to be auctioned on the 26th of August. Now, this next one we have here, this property is a single-family home, a nice home. In fact, one of the things that's great about the Michigan counties and the officials there is that they will leave details and notes about homes and give you an overall idea of what the condition's like and what you might need to be concerned about.
Yeah, well, that's our biggest challenge with tax deed investing is that we can only judge the book by the cover, meaning we can only look at the outside and try to make a judgment on the condition of the inside.
Yeah. So this property opens up, has minimum bid of $7,800. And an SEV of $48,000, which would normally mean that the property would be worth somewhere close to $95,000 to $100,000. We can see an estimated value from Zillow of about $168,000, so it might be somewhere in between that. But it's at a $7,800 opening bid. It's a nice property, and I believe it was occupied. It's usable.
Yeah, well, even in looking at the condition. You can see things like new siding. It's also got that 2-car garage there, which is going to increase the value as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's worth $120,000 to $150,000.
Yeah. Now the next property here, let's look at this one. This one, is described as a very nice home, on the canal. And the prices are reflective of that. It has a minimum bid of $34,000. The SEV on it is 117, so we could say around 230,000 would be roughly the estimated value on it. Although we can see an estimated Zillow of 342, on the property. It is kind of a higher end property too.
Well, you can see, looking even at the Zillow, that based on that zip code, that area has gone up, or this property has gone up based by sales on the area about $5,000 over the last 30 days. So there's definitely property in the area that is selling at high prices that are helping to justify that estimate of $340,000.
Yeah. These were nicer properties, all kind of around little canal outlets, so that they could have the canal basically right behind their property, or even have a boat ramp in the back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Real nice.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's take a look here. And these are all in Saint Clair, which is happening on August 31st. Next here we have this property, very nice home and lot. This property they did have interior images of. It opens up for $5,800 is the minimum bid on the property, and it has an SEV of $50,000. So it would make it the estimated value about $100,000 on it.
Yeah, well, and we can see that across the board, the actual market value tends to be higher than even double the SEV value.
Yeah.
Also, when we're seeing the inside of the home, that usually means that the property is unoccupied. If there's still somebody living in the home, whether it be the owner or a renter or a family member, usually they will just do pictures and photos of the outside. But if the home is unoccupied, they can get into the home. That's where you're going to be able to see interior photos, which tells us a lot more about the property and the condition of the inside.
Yeah, really a very nice property there, starting out for a pretty low amount. Starting out for less than 5% of value.
You can actually see there in the backyard there's a big garage.
Yeah.
So the home is actually quite a bit smaller. Than even that garage. That garage looks like it's a 4-car garage.
Yeah, and they didn't have images of the inside of the garage.
Yeah.
There could very well be, very nice property though. And we've got one more property here to look at, and it is this one. This one I thought was kind of interesting because it's basically a parking lot. It's commercial property that hasn't really been used for anything that could be. It could be used for something there on this street. There are other businesses around it, But,
you could even build a business on that location.
Yeah.
The one thing I love about this type of property is you can use it as is. So you could fence it up and use it as some type of storage lot, parking lot, whatever. But it could also be built upon and put some type of structure on the property.
Or it could be sold as is if you wanted. Somebody's could find uses for that in a commercial way. The property opens up for about $8,600, has an SEV of $43,000. So we'd estimate the value on it to be somewhere around $85,000 to $85,000, so roughly.
Yeah, so starting around 10 cents on the dollar. And this is a property I wouldn't mind bidding a little higher on. Especially if we, did the research and determined exactly what it could be used for, where you could pay 20 to 30 cents on the dollar and still make a great profit.
Yeah. So again, these are properties that are being offered. That first one in Ionia, and the other in the rest of them are in Saint Clair County. These are sales on August 26th and the 31st. And these are all being done through the Michigan service, tax-sale.info.
Yeah. Now, if you like what we talk about, our training, if you want to learn more, go ahead and check out our membership program at taxsalesupport.com. It's going to give you access to all of our auction list, our weekly webinars, all of our training guides. Really gives you access to everything.
Yeah, just $39 a month. It's the best value in training online and list service, of course. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Be sure to hit that like button.
Yeah, appreciate it.